Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Success Shift. My name is Jake. It's Thursday, and I'm feeling very good, very energetic. Sometimes life just happens, and it happens in wonderful ways. I've had some good news and a few things go my way over this last week, and it just goes to show that if you keep plugging away at things consistently, then good things happen. And I often say this to people who have got big goals, big aspirations, big dreams, and find themselves struggling with finding the time or finding, the ability to continue on. I say, just keep doing the thing, whatever it is, just keep doing it. And eventually opportunities will arise and you'll be ready to take them. People will come your way and offer you things that you may not have even been open to. And it's just a matter of doing the background work and doing the things that you think are necessary to grow and move yourself in that direction consistently, and doing it without the expectation of return. If you've got a big enough drive, a big enough passion, a big enough why, and you're able to do the things in your spare time, sometimes you might be so busy and you can only find 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, or an hour a week. But as long as you keep plugging away, things will work out for you. I mean, we're talking about it just on Tuesday, where Earl Nightingale's expression for success is the progressive realization of a worthy goal. If you have a worthy goal and you just keep chipping it away, it doesn't matter your speed, but just keep on going. Just do not stop. Be relentless in your approach and your attack. Then things will work out. It's just the way of the laws of the universe. And I just feel that if you just keep going, regardless of wanting or needing, like if you're doing something in the hopes that you feel you deserve something, then it can take you away a little bit. If you've just got such passion and desire and drive to get to a certain goal and just keep doing it, then yeah, things happen for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. And I'm very grateful today, very grateful this week, actually. And I'm grateful for opportunities. I'm grateful for old friends. I'm grateful for new friends, and just grateful for life in general and for being in the present moment. I was listening to the book Be Like Water by Bruce Lee. I think that's the name of it, but it's the Bruce Lee's book I think his daughter wrote in regards to his philosophies. And it reminded me a lot about Eckhart Tolle's book, The Power of Now, and just the real advances of being present, like really present. Like not, okay, I'm kind of here, but just ignoring everything and being so focused on what you're doing in this current moment. Yes, it's good to have goals and dreams and aspirations and steps to achieve those things. But when you're doing something, when you're doing that one step, just focus on that one step. And this actually will take me into something that a very profound realization I've had in trading as well, at how a lot of us get so focused on, if I get my 2% today, then I'll have this, and then I'll have this amount and my goals, and I'll be rich by this date. And it just sort of, you're only getting the 2% so that you can stay on track to get $1 million by X amount of months. Like, put some ones in the chat if you've done that kind of process. And I know I'm going a little bit straight off from my topic today and away from the gratitude, but this is really important to me. And one's coming into the chat, right? So the more we can just focus in on just this session, all I'm going to do is look at these exact candles. Now, this is one thing I talk about, well, I haven't spoken about it too much yet, is cognitive dissonances, where you can hold two competing ideas in your mind at the same time. So I know I'm going to be contradicting myself here when I say, when in doubt, zoom out, look at the whole environment, look at the bigger picture. But what I'm now saying is focus in on just this one move, just this particular time frame of trading. Have I got a trade that matches my checklist? And that is all you need to be focusing on. Not, okay, if I get this amount, then I'll reach this level and I'll pass this challenge, or no, if I lose this because of the trades that I took yesterday, then I'm going to be in a bad week. All that stuff needs to leave your mind. All of it. When you're trading, you just need to focus right here, right now. As the candles paint, what am I noticing? Okay, does this tick my trading plan? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. Minimum for me is 5 out of the 7 points. Yes, it does. I will enter. There's not, or maybe because of XYZ, it's reached my points. That's all I have to focus on. This is my exit strategy. This is my other exit strategy. Does it do that? Yes. Does it do it? No. That is the only Action, respond. Action, respond. Not giving yourself decision time like, oh, but maybe what about this particular case and blah, 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 blah. Just focus right now on the very one thing. Does this trade right in front of my eyes match my trading plan? Yes or no? No, don't enter. Yes, enter. Do I have a trading plan? Do I have in my trading plan reasons to exit, trail, whatever it is that you like to do to manage your trade? I do. Okay. Is it reaching these? Yes, do something. Is it not? No, do nothing. That is all trading has to be. Straight, clear cut, as simple as that. But of course, we don't, right? It is so simple. Action, response, right? The candle paints, candle closes. We have a bearish engulfing. Does it reach my trading plan? Check rules. Yes, I have. So for me, if you don't know already, I have like a point system. I have a certain few things that really lead towards a good trade for me. For my certain trades, I have about 7 points. And if I get 5 of those, I can enter it. 6, powerful trade, 7, like my 10 out of 10, basically. So this is my system. If I've got the 5 points, enter. There's no if, buts, ands, and maybes. I've got my points, enter it. If I don't have 5 points, just don't enter. It's just that simple. Action, respond. Action, respond. The problem is, what we do is we give ourselves time to change our response. If we have thinking time, action. Okay, but what about this? What about that? Oh my God. Our brain starts to go. We start to manipulate ourselves depending on each individual situation, and then our response is different. And if we've got a different response every single time, of course, we're not going to get consistency, and of course, we're not going to get longevity in our results. But if we can shut that all out and just focus, does this exact situation meet my trading plan? Yes, enter. No, don't enter. This is my strategy to manage my trade. Does this mean that I exit? Do I trail? None of these things have reached my trading plan. Okay, I'm just going to do nothing. That's what my trading plan says to do. Then do nothing. And if you've got Janie, then just do nothing because Janie's going to do it. Okay. So I went off on a little bit of a tangent there, but I thought this is so important. And I think this is such a key factor. And so many people don't understand this. And so many people miss this concept because we get so caught up in the past and the future and the whole concept of trading to be wealthy and all the things that can provide and all the things that can come through when you become successful. And then all this like extended pressure and like frustration and all these other emotions because we're like, my God, I have to get this to get this to get this. Fuck all that. Just zoom in to the now. Focus so clearly on, does this exact situation or this setup meet my trading plan? Yes, respond. No, respond. Okay? It's exactly so simple. Just me adding the complications. This is what I say to people so many times. Trading is so simple. Humans are so fucking difficult. And the problem is that we add so much confusion and difficulty and so much just back and forth and inconsistencies into our trading plan, into our trading routine. And of course, you do that over a certain period of time. This becomes habit. This becomes a routine for you. And now what we have to do as we get to this certain level, we have to train that out. That is why newbie traders often find success quite quickly because they don't second guess anything. They don't outsmart the trading plan. They just go, oh, this is the rule. I do it, enter. Okay. Oh, look at that. It worked. But as we get smarter, as our intelligence grows, as our knowledge grows, we think we get smarter and we think we can out-trade our trading plan, which is stupid. And so we have to dumb it back down to just the simple basic. This is how it's done. Here's my trading plan. Do I follow it? Does it reach? You don't have to like second guess. If you've got a good trading plan, which is the key, which is like, should be your number one focus, then you just go, does it reach these 5 things? Is it true to my trading plan? Yes, enter. Is it not? No. It's just a simple yes and no. And then once you enter that trade, you can then go to your journal. Did this reach my trading plan? Yes. Okay. Am I proud of that? Yes. Okay. What can I learn from this particular case because it didn't go or did go? Did this reach your trading plan? No. Did you enter? Yes. Why? And this is where the mindset comes in. Why did you not follow your trading plan? Why did you go against it? Now, this is where all the human behavior and all the emotion and all the mindset and all the other things, your trailing strategy, your exit strategy, your management strategy. Okay, did I manage this trade as my trading plan says? No. Why? This is all the emotions. This is all the mindset stuff. Why are you letting your mind control what's happening where you should just be following the trading plan? Okay. I shouldn't we shouldn't need a mindset call if everyone's able to follow their trading plan just like that. But the problem is humans cannot. We decide we want to break the rules, we want to change things, we want to do things slightly differently. And in this particular case, I reckon I could get away with doing this because I'm going to get more. And all of this psychology, that's why we have these calls. That's why we have, this kind of aspect of trading, because so many humans just do that. It's just the nature of humans, right? Okay, so my little rant is over. I apologize for going off on a tangent so quick. I don't apologize, but let's get back to what I was saying. Gratitude. Let's chuck some gratitude into the chat for those of you that are here. Love to read some of your gratitude, and then I'll get on to answering those 3 questions that I was asking on Friday and then again on Tuesday. Okay, so chuck your gratitude into the chat. We'll have a quick read through them. And for those of you that haven't listened to the podcast on Friday or on Tuesday, I had 3 questions. And last week we were talking a bit about, and this week we're talking about self-sabotage, your self-narrative. How do you talk about yourself to yourself? And these things kind of lead on to each other, and it's all intertwined. And basically, how you talk about yourself to yourself is really what your true core beliefs are. If you truly believe that you're a failure, or that you're just going to be a engineer and you can't be any more, and you've got that fixed mindset, and that's the belief, and that's how you're going to talk to yourself. You're like, oh, I shouldn't be following my dream. Of course, I'm going to fail this, blah, 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 blah. If that's how you're talking to yourself, then you can learn a lot from that, and you can figure out the things that you need to change. And same goes, if you have that talk of like, I can do anything, I really am able to do this, like, what is it? Like, for me, this is what I say to myself a lot. And it's, what is this one thing that I got to fucking figure out that it's stopping me? Like, what is this tiny little, where's the key to this lock? I got to unlock this. There's something in my way and I got to figure it out. Like, I know I can do this. I know I can do it. I just have to figure out this little thing. That's the way I speak to myself, because I believe that I'm capable of the greatness that I'm moving towards. The issue is I get stuck. And so how do I talk? I can beat myself up and talk myself down, which is going to pull me away. Or I can boost myself up, talk myself up and say, yes, come on, I can do this. I can do this. Just got to figure it out. Like, there is a way through. I just haven't found it out yet. I need more knowledge. I need more input. I need more perspective on this situation. That's how I talk to myself. That's why I have so much passion and so much drive. When you hear me talking on these podcasts, I get energetic because I know that I truly believe that I can make this. So therefore, that's how I speak to myself. That's my self-narrative. If you don't have that yet, that's fine, but you have to be aware of that, get that self-awareness and go, actually, when no one's listening, this is how I talk to myself. And this isn't helping me. This isn't bettering me. That means the affirmations that I have for myself are, yeah, you really can't do that. Why are you trying this? This is actually really hard. You're never going to make this. These thoughts that we have going through our head, these are your self-narrative. These are your affirmations, whether you like it or not. And we need to shift them. Okay. So the questions that I was asking to truly understand this to a better level and to try and grow and get past these boundaries. Question 1 was, what is your biggest fear? Question 2 was, what is your greatest passion or desire? What really drives you? And question 3, and I actually found this really hard to answer, but you'll find that out in a minute, was who is your biggest aspiration, or who is your biggest role model? And often what is good is, what's your favorite TV character or movie character that you can most relate to? By putting it this way, you can find out a lot about how you think about yourself. If you relate yourself to a certain person, what are their traits like? What are their behaviors like? What are the things that they do that maybe you feel like you relate to? Can help you really understand your self-narrative a bit. Okay, so I'm going to go flick through some of these gratitude, because we've got some of them coming through, and then I'll go and answer those questions for myself. So I'm grateful to have a parent who loves my child so much. Oh, that's adorable. Especially as a new parent myself, that hit home. That's lovely. I love simple, specific, direct communication. Thanks for this, Jake. So very, very good. I'm grateful for everyone who continues to show up in this group. May we all be blessed beyond measure. Oh, it's also very, very nice. Definitely. I think we've all got a lot of potential here. So grateful for friends that are traveling the trading journey with me. Having others to share experiences with who understand has been so valuable this last couple of weeks. Yet I keep telling people the power of community, the power of having a group of like-minded individuals moving towards a similar goal is beyond powerful. Like masterminding, bouncing off each other, accountability buddies, all this sort of stuff. It's when you get into a tough situation and you can go, oh, I'm feeling down, and you've got a group of people to pick you up, to give you some advice, to push you back in the right direction. That is going to be so profound in the longevity of your success. What is that African proverb? If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Grateful for this group and the inspiration and faith everyone brings. Yeah, it's lovely. Lots of gratitude for the group, lots of gratitude for the community, which I love. This community is always growing. And on that, actually, if you are getting value out of this podcast, if you are getting stuff from this call, go share this with your friends. Go share this with people in your community. Go share, it doesn't even have to be people who trade. My goal here is to give a lot of mindset towards any goals and success. Obviously, it's based around trading because that's what a lot of the people listening are achieving. But if you are getting stuff, share it with people. Let others know that I'm trying to spit out as much value as I can. It helps me grow the community. It helps me grow the podcast. It also helps people jump on here. And the more people we have in here giving in the discussion and adding value, the more growth we can get as a whole, the more gratitude we can get to open our minds up, to shift our perspective. And the more people's insights, the more we can really learn from each other. Okay. Right. Now, I'm getting a bit smoked out by my incense today. It's pretty strong. It's a new one. So if you hear me coughing, I apologize. All right. We're running out a little bit of time, but I want to go through the 3 questions and what I answered them for myself so that you can get a bit of insight on how I use this to learn myself a little bit and hopefully go back and find out a bit more about yourself and understand your own self-narrative. So the very first question is, what is my biggest fear? And this took me a long time to really answer this question, because deep down, I really don't fear much in my own mind. Like general stuff like sharks, spiders, snakes, big waves, like extreme sports. That's all like my passions and desires. So those like sort of surface level fears, I couldn't really come up with anything. So I had to dig a bit deeper. And I feel like I've done so much personal development that I've really worked through ways to be fearful. But I did come down to one, which was obviously one of the most underlying ones. And I think as we start to pull back the fears, then we realize we have to get deeper and deeper into some of the deeper level fears. And this is like, I think I've said this many times before, that you're only born with 2 fears, the fear of falling and the fear of loud noises, and everything else is a learnt fear, everything. And if it's a learnt fear, then it can be an unlearnt fear. And it's obviously come from some period in your life. And I think Grant Cardone, wow, I really butchered his name there, didn't I? Has this expression for fear, and it's false events appearing real. So that's his acronym for fear, which I think is amazing, because basically it's in our mind. Fear is only in our mind. And it's basically us going, oh, this could happen. And so I'm scared of something that hasn't happened yet. So a false event appearing real. And that actually stuck with me. So I implore you to look at fear in that way, that it is a false event that you're just imagining. But with that said, my biggest fear, I now believe, was returning home unsuccessful. So if you know anything about my journey, I grew up Western Australia, very loving, supporting family, was told to go through the education system, did engineering, got a mechatronic engineering degree, got offered a really good contract in a big mining company, and said no. I said, sorry, I don't want to do this. I like the people, I like the company. I wasn't like the biggest fan of the work itself, being in the mines, and I'm a bit of a hippie, so I wasn't all for that. But then also, I just saw people who'd been like in their 60s and they've just been doing this their whole life. And so I turned around and said no. And against my parents, like my parents are very supportive, but against their recommendations, like, hey, why don't you just do this for a couple of years, get yourself some money, get a little bit of support, like you've done all the work, like at least reap some of the rewards. And I stuck it to myself. I was like, no, I want to go travel. My dog had just passed away. I'd spent 8 years at uni. So and I just broken up with my partner. So I had no commitments, right? I was almost clean slated. And if I was to lock into a contract, then all those other things might have come around. So I turned around and said, no, like I'm going to go travel. I'm going to go be a bum around a snow bum and just go explore the world. And I always had the aspirations of finding something along the way that I could do. But I think my biggest fear is returning home unsuccessful at that. So putting the pressure on myself that I need to make this work, not so much financials, not so much for anything other than, I guess, my pride. And the more I dug into this and realized that this was probably my biggest fear, I realized that lots of this actually comes from my self-worth. And we spoke about this in the chimp paradox, right? So clearly, even though I'm fully aware of this, I obviously have some underlying subconscious part of me that believes that my self-worth is fully dependent on my achievements. Okay. So by understanding my deepest fear, I'm able to go a bit further and go, okay, why do I have this? Where does this come from? What subconscious belief do I have? And how can I start to shift this? And so from this, what is my biggest fear? I realized that I clearly have this part of me that believes my self-worth is completely related to my achievements. And so now that I can start understand that, I can start working on the fact that actually I've got great relationships with my friends, my family, my loved ones who are the ones that I fear will judge whether I'm successful or not, which is completely made up in my own head. And from this, I can go, actually, is it realistic to go, my parents will think this or not? Because it's not. So why am I feeling like this? And if I can release myself from this, then that will probably take a lot of pressure and a lot of stress off me needing to achieve, and therefore make my achievements easier. Okay. So I've got a lot of notes here, but I feel like I'm running out of time and I want to get through these answers. So I obviously have to define what is success. I return unsuccessful, but then I have to define what is success to me. At what level do I go, okay, I am successful? And this is the whole point of this entire podcast, is that to me, success should be a mindset. And so if I'm progressively moving forward to a worthy goal, then that should be a state of mind of success. And if that is a state of mind of success, then I'm already successful. So where does this fear come from? Okay. So this is the kind of thing that once you answer these questions, you can start to dive in a bit deeper and really understand yourself. Now, question 2, what drives you? Your passion. So again, a tough one. So I've got lots of things that I enjoy, but what really drives me, I had to think about, okay, what is it that's going to wake me up in the morning, regardless of money, finances, or situation? What is it, one thing that if I didn't have to worry about any other circumstances, that I could get up and do every single day till the day I died? What is it, the one thing that I can go, okay, no matter where I am in life, if I could find a way to do this one thing, I would be happy. It would bring me joy. And that was really genuinely, and I don't want this to sound like a cop-out, but helping others, like selflessly helping others. I really do find joy of giving. Like, I will often, when I travel, I will take guitar strings with me, because I've been to other countries, especially third world countries, where there's kids wanting to play music, but you see them with guitar strings and they've got like 2 or 3 broken ones, and they're kilometers, if not hours, away from any place remotely close to getting strings. So I'll take a pack of strings with me, and then I can restring up guitars and stuff like that. Like, that's just a very small thing, but that's something to me that really hits home, and it really drives a passion in me. And sometimes, and I was having a discussion with one of my friends who was going through a breakup, and he was like, you do that selfishly. And to be honest, I probably do that selfishly. I help others so that I get a good sense of feeling, so that it makes me feel better. And whether that's a negative thing or a positive thing, I don't know, but that's a realization I came to. And so understanding this, especially my loved ones, I really like to help my loved ones. Like, on my vision board, I've got retiring my mum, helping my sister, things like that. So this can kind of be looked at in a couple of ways. That this can come from like a deep issue of what's the love languages, right? So why do we feel like one of the love languages is what's it called? I can't think of the name of it right now, but just like selflessly giving, basically, like doing things for others. And so that means that one of the things that I obviously need the most is, maybe the reason I do that the most is because of something that's happened to me in my childhood. Maybe I didn't feel that. Maybe I didn't. Acts of service. Thank you so much. Acts of service is the love language. So this can also come from childhood stuff, where maybe I didn't feel like I got loved, even though I did. Like, on a surface level, I truly believe my parents were great and everything. Like, they went through a divorce, but that was not really a deeper thing. And I can start to understand that, okay, if this is what I want to do, then this is where some of my acts, some of my love language comes from, some of the things that I can look into and find out, why do I feel like this? And I can then again learn more about myself. Not only this, but now I know that if everything turns to shit and I'm feeling horrible, and you have those days where you wake up and you're like, oh, life's just so hard, go out and give something to someone. Just give a homeless person a sandwich or something like that, and that's going to boost me straight away. And so I can start to understand myself to such a level where I go, you know what, even if everything's turned to shit, I'm going to go down to the shop, going to buy a sandwich and give it to the first homeless person I find. And that's going to bring so much joy and pleasure to me, and maybe shift my perspective and get me out of that rut. Okay. And I know we're running out of time here, but I'm just going to try and get to this last one. So question 3 is, who's my biggest role model? And I really struggled with this. I really struggled because I went through a lot of different people. But I feel like as I have changed, as I have grown, my understanding of who a role model could be has changed and grown, and it's developed, and I've learned more and more about myself as I've sort of went through these people. So the first person I've got is Tom Bilyeu, and I'm not sure if you know him, but he's the guy who runs Impact Theory, and he owned Quest, and I've learned a lot from him. And the reason I relate to him is because I really like his values and his core beliefs. And so understanding that, I was like, all right, what other characteristics does he have that I can aspire to, that I can sort of be like, so that I can be more and more like him? And the other person I got, if you're looking at TV and movie character, was Deadpool. So Deadpool's a bit of a smartass. He's quirky. He really wants to help. Deep down, he's actually a really nice guy, but he doesn't really give a shit on the surface level. He just does what he does. Even though he's a superhero, he helps, but he's a smartass. He's quirky. But really, he does want to help, especially his loved ones. And he plays by his own rules. He's a bit ruthless. And this is kind of where I was relating myself to. And it's funny because that links in to some of the stuff that I found out about myself in question 2 and a little bit in question 1. So as we do that exercise and we go deep down, you can actually learn a lot and find that most of the time your answer to these questions are going to be linked. Okay. Now I have gone a little bit over time. I do apologize. I hope that was helpful. So everyone who's here, I really recommend going through and answering these questions for yourself. Find out your self-narrative. And once you can really learn your self-narrative, you can learn a bit about how you self-sabotage and why. And actually, I'm going to go into that tomorrow a bit because I think that's really important and relates a lot to trading. But just to finish off, those 3 questions: what is your biggest fear? What drives you? What is your biggest passion? And then who is your biggest role model? And if you want a TV or movie character that you can relate that to. Okay. Answer those questions, find out your self-narrative, and you can really learn so much about yourself and start redirecting your beliefs and your values into a direction of really wherever you want, depending on who you want to aspire to. Okay. So I hope you got a bit out of my vulnerability today. I really hope you can learn a few things. Lots of gratitude coming in at the chat. Yeah, go listen to this again if you want on the podcast. And otherwise, we will jump into the trading call, go through your trading journals, go through everything you need to go through, your whys, your mindset, your affirmations, get into the now, into the present moment on the charts, okay? Everyone else listening on the podcast, I'll see you tomorrow. But for now, love you all. Bye.